1/2 mile of wire in a pinball machine. This layout was created in CAD by our electrical engineer, and what they do is they lay everything out with pins, connectors that go in here, and then they create the run sheet. The run sheet tells them what color wire to pull and for what pins to follow. So they'll follow a pattern along the entire length of the drawing. Okay, from there, they'll go right over here where it gets soldered. Excuse me, stripped. They'll come back here where they get soldered, at which point they get tested right here on the testing board. And then, once that is completed, you end up with a complete cable. Here's an example of this Lord of the Rings. This is actually a limited edition game signed by George Gomez, the game designer, and Gary Stern. And what happens is that George laid this out in CAD, and it goes over to a company called Churchill on the south side of Chicago. They put on their CNC machines and route out all the holes. At which point the inserts are put in, held in with putty, and then the whole thing is sanded. A light varnish is applied, it's sanded again, and then it's silk screened by hand, 4-color processing. So the white goes down first as the base, and then yellow, magenta, cyan, and black. At which point a hard coat is applied. Second time it's applied, takes 3 days to dry, and then it comes over here, and it goes into our one piece of equipment, which is the pants press. This was owned by Gottlieb many years ago. What happens, just like pressing your pants, the top comes down and the nails prick the top and the bottom, and there's spottings. So everybody along the line, they'll know where to screw and hammer everything in. So from there it starts down the main production line. The drill plate gets put on the top and they start drilling holes into it. You see some of the Here's some examples of the spottings here.
Which is what he's doing.
That's what he's doing right there.
I took it out of there.
They'll go down the production line. They start putting on metal rails and wood rails right here. Then it comes over here, board gets flipped over, and they use the air tools. Torque is checked at the beginning of every week to make sure everything is consistent. Over there are sub-assembly parts, so smaller parts that get put together, and they come over here. You can see where they put on such things as small wires, or they'll put on a lamp holder. They'll also put together kickers. These will kick the ball out onto the play field. And it's a progressive line, so a little bit more gets put on each time. Now over here starts the cabinet line. These cabinets are made out of plywood, and they're held together tongue and groove. So this is also made at Churchill, who makes the play fields. They'll silk screen this by hand, the same thing as the play field.
They do that at Churchill?
Yes.
All the paintings?
4-color processing, again, yellow, magenta, cyan, and black. And then they put a light varnish on it, and it comes over here. Things like the coin door gets put on, the plunger, start button, flipper buttons. War games go all over the world, so we'll have different coinage in it as well. And different power too, it can be 1 touch each running. These are going to the US.
Oh, for different countries. I didn't think about that.
see where all those cables come, they come over here. And these ladies have the hardest job. They start soldering all this on by hand. See all the cables?
Four of them working on one thing.
And eventually it gets flipped over and they start putting the pieces on the top. Like ramps, plastic pieces, we call them butyrates, things like spinners, and the toys will get put on as well.
Where do all the little pieces come from? All the little flippers, plastics, you have to...
We have different metal vendors, plastic vendors, wood vendors. Most of them are in the Chicagoland area. Some of them are in China, but the majority are around here.
You design them and
Correct.
contract
We
out
send
the
them
little pieces.
drawings and they make them and send them back to us. So the back pocket is out here. We have 2 levels of testing. This is the first level. The game is plugged into the dot matrix display and they run through a diagnostic test. So this gentleman here tests this for about a half an hour. What he'll do is he'll take a pinball and he'll hit every single switch to make sure that the wiring is all done properly. And as you saw, he has on this bed here, so it can go up and down like that.
And so if one doesn't hit, they can fix it right here?
Mostly they can fix it here. Sometimes the real problem, a cable will go back to the cable department. But as you can see, we brought a lady over here to work on this particular game.
Now it works. Maybe.
So from there, back boxes are put together here. This is the CPU soundboard, the brain of the game, and also the I/O board, which is the switching board between all the components. Again, these are made in Churchill, silkscreen 4-color processing. And it marries up with the cabinet, as you saw. The playfield will go into that, and it goes to the final level of testing.
That's pretty awesome.
Thank you. So over here, we have the final level of testing. You see all the boards and the cables are all plugged in, and the entire game is complete into the cabinet. These are the people who get to play pinball all day. So they're testing the games. So from here, come over here to final. We have the back glass. Made on a polyester material, printed UV lithography, 175 lines that accompany off the street, and it's held together with glass with the channels. At which point the instructions are put in, it's all cleaned up, and the dot matrix display has different languages in it. French, English, Spanish, German, and Italian. We also have different instruction cards in the different languages as well. Glass goes in, then the head will come down, and it'll get slipped into the box, and it'll be ready for shipping. Ready for shipment. They get taken out to the dock, put on trucks, go all over the country, onto ships all over the world, and